out-of-body experience.
Welcome to the Brothers of Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back to the Brothers of Wrestling Podcast with your host Logan and
Hayden.
And we are back with our Survivor Series War Games recap from this past Sunday, or Saturday is when it is. I'm still used to them doing on Sundays. This past Saturday night. It was an interesting show.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I'm not really a harsh critic when it comes to most things. I like most movies and video games and TV shows and wrestling events and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not the person to ask if something was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, you're boring.
I thought it was fine. All the matches were fine. And it wasn't like I didn't get bored watching it.
This is a classic pay-per-view. A classic WWE pay-per-view that when you look at it on paper, it looks like it's going to be amazing. And then when it happens, it just feels like a letdown.
The only thing that was maybe somewhat of a letdown was the men's War Game ending, where Roman picks up Punk, they fist bump, and then he kind of like stares at Cody, and
He
said,
don't like Cody.
and then he said, but he didn't like Punk either. And then
He does. He likes Punk better than Cody.
they're Zebros, and then he kind of gets into the middle between the two rings, and he says, "We're never teaming again. This is the last time we team." And then the show
it was supposed to be the last time they teamed.
and then the show just kind of ends. And I heard from people that were there that they said the crowd was kind of like just confused because they weren't expecting it just to end like that. So
Yeah, because it looked like something else was going to happen.
Yeah.
It just kind of ended.
that's the
But
problem
apparently
when
that
you
was supposed to set up WrestleMania.
that's the problem when you end most of your shows or big events with big shockers at the very end. When one doesn't happen, then people are just like, "What? That's it? That's all we get?"
Yeah, maybe calm down a little bit.
So let's start with the beginning. They opened the show with the women's War Games match, and how'd you feel about them not being in the little shark cages? Did you like the Rumble style entrances?
I mean, the shark cages never really did anything anyway. I mean, you couldn't even have told me that. Like, it wasn't something that I noticed. Let's say that.
Okay.
But like the only two times I ever remember anything happening in the shark cage was the Dakota Kai turn.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the Roman.
He put his arm. Yeah, he put
Punk.
his arm out in front of Punk. Yeah.
But so I mean, I get why some people were probably mad those were gone, but it didn't do anything for me. It's no different than them coming out of Rumble or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
I think it
it
adds
made no difference
because it gives the crowd a chance to react to their song and everything. So
yeah, you kind of get that who's next kind of thing,
yeah.
like the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. So the women's War Game goes down, and the the face team had the advantage. That's right. The face team had the advantage, which was kind of weird, but I get that you can't have both one side on the men's and the women's have the same advantage. So the heels had it for the men, so the face women had to have it because then you'd just be doubling up.
Yeah, you gotta make it different.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be
So,
the
but
same
it does
exact
feel a
thing.
little like the face should never really have the advantage because then you get like, because if the face is going over on the heel in the opening 5 minutes, then the other face comes in and it's a 2-on-1 face versus heel. That just seems a little weird. Because then you
I
have
don't
the
think
other
it
heel
matters
come in
that
and try to
much. Yeah,
make
I
the
see what you're
the heroic save. Then it kind of puts them in a weird spot, and it's a little
Yeah, I
strange.
kind of see what you're saying, but I don't see the big deal in it. It doesn't.
It's not a
really
huge
matter
deal,
either
no.
way.
It's just a little strange to see the faces with a heelish advantage, basically.
I see what you're saying,
But the women, the face women get the win as we predicted, as we expected. It was pretty obvious that the face women, it was basically a super team. And the best part was at the end when Io, which I predicted, she always does the jump off the cage with the trash can. That's her thing in War Games. And she got up there, and AJ had the trash can. She was going to give it to her, but she's too small. So she couldn't reach Io from the top of the cage. So Rhea asked if she needed help, and she lifted her up, put her on her shoulders, kind of like electric chair style. And put her up, and then AJ reaches up, gives the trash can to Io. She puts it on, does a crazy jump. That was a different jump than she usually does, and takes out everybody but Becky. And then I think they were planning on doing like a finisher party on Becky, but then it just goes. Rhea hits the Riptide, and then AJ taps her out with I forget what she calls it. Is it the Black Widow?
Something spider.
Yeah, something like that. Some submission, octopus style submission, and Becky taps out, which I thought they would pin her, but submission works too. It doesn't really matter. But I did predict that AJ was going to pin Becky, or get the win over Becky.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that something would happen to that sense. That's how a lot of people complain
That AJ what?
The AJ didn't do anything in the match. Like, she was just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, she did kind of just...
Well, what do you expect? It's her second match.
I know,
since she came back,
I guess
and
people
she's
were just
doing
kind
the
of...
war game.
They were kind of just wanting her to get involved pretty heavily, I guess.
She ain't going to go out there and bleed everywhere.
I did think Rhea's mask was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fine. I think WWE's War Game it's so watered down from what you get if you watch Blood and Guts.
Yeah, you can't compare the two.
Nah, it's just like it's the same match though.
Yeah,
so
but Blood and Guts is on a different level.
Yeah, but that's the thing then. So then you watch a War Games match and you're just like, was it really even necessary to have a cage there? Like, what really happened? Like,
yeah, the only reason for the cage was for Io's spot.
It just kind of feels, yeah.
Yeah, the War Games, doing it every year like this, especially when it's not like a blood feud, just kind of doesn't really hit the same.
Mm-hmm.
But the women get the win, the face women get the win, and fireworks go off, and everybody's happy. We'll see where, I'm assuming AJ and Becky will go off in their own storyline. Charlotte, we kind of thought, we talked about maybe a Charlotte turn, but that didn't happen.
No, they kept it pretty safe.
Yeah, so we'll see where everybody goes from here. But AJ and Becky, we obviously are going to be the main focus coming out of that. Mm-hmm. And then we move on to, it was Cena Dominic, right? Next?
I think so.
And Dom comes out, and he has the Judgment Day girls with him. He's got Raquel and Roxanne. And the crowd was kind of with him. It was a little negative at first. But then they kind of, like, every once in a while, you get a Dirty Dom chant. And they made the crowd wait a long time for Cena to come out. It was a hefty pause before Cena comes out. And he gets...
Yeah, the Cena thing was weird, I thought.
He comes out, and he's high-fiving the crowd like he always does. This is normal Cena entrance. Mm-hmm. And I thought the match was actually pretty good. It was probably the best match of the night. But
by far.
I did see some people upset that Cena's final match ended the way that it ended, because you get
a strange way to end.
You get the weird spot, which I kind of thought it was gonna be a fake out with the Dom injury when he does the. So Dom's on the barricade, the fan barricade, and he does a Hurricane Rana on Cena outside. Kind of doesn't get all the way around, lands on his neck and shoulder, and he's supposedly injured. And I kind of, the way that, because you can kind of tell when it's a real injury, you can kind of, the ref acts different than when it's a kayfabe injury. So I was kind of thinking that there's no way Dom's actually hurt, because Roxanne and Raquel weren't acting like super concerned. You could tell on their face that it wasn't like, oh, what do we do now? How do we fix this? Because Dom's done. But so I kind of expected something to happen, and then was it Raquel that distracts Cena? Somebody distracts Cena.
Yeah,
and then
I think so.
Dom gets back in the ring, and we almost get a win, but then Raquel hits Cena later in the match. Raquel hits Cena with her finisher. I think she calls it the Hano Bomb or something like that, which I just think of lucha wrestler when I think of that.
Yeah.
And then Roxanne hits the Pop Rocks on him, and then Dom gets the 619 and the Frog Splash and the victory, new Intercontinental Champion. So it was. I forgot about the biggest part. Liv Morgan returns.
I was gonna say, when are you gonna bring?
I forgot about that. So that doesn't actually. He hits the Frog Splash, but Cena kicks out. Because then Liv Morgan comes down, and it looks like I was watching it, and I was kind of like, she's not really gonna. She's acting weird. I thought she was gonna turn on Dom, and then she slaps him, and goes in, jumps onto Cena, but then the camera pans onto her face, and she does the Cena face turn, heel turn, I guess, where her face loses emotion and everything, and then she gets off of Cena, low blows him, classic what Cena did when he turned heel, and then I think she pushes him into the ropes for the 619, then the frog splash, then the win.
Yeah. You skipped a whole part.
I know. I completely forgot about Liv Morgan there coming out. So Dom and Liv are back, and Dom's the Intercontinental Champion again, which I kind of assumed was going to happen. I didn't think Cena was going to carry the title.
I assumed that was going to happen, but man, I'd rather have it just be a clean something.
Yeah, it was a little weird that his final pay-per-view match was booked that heavily. But, I mean, Cena, he probably said, I want to get as many people over. He wants to get Roxanne over, Raquel. That's why he let him do their finishers on him.
Yeah, you can get him over without it having to be such a... You can still have Dom win clean somehow. You don't have to have it where he's getting smoked.
Yeah.
And then, just because the girls show up, he escapes. I just thought that was just tad strange.
Yeah, it was a little weird that they booked it so heavily. Some may say overbooked.
Plus, I mean, what are we really doing here? Like that, they booked Cena in such a weird corner this whole year, and I just don't get it. Like, why are you having him lose on this? This should have been, this whole thing just should have been a celebration of John Cena's career, and it just turned into this overbooked slog. He should have, like, if I'm booking a John Cena farewell tour, I get what they did in the first part. He wanted to win the 17th. That's you wanted to go there. I get that. Do it. And the heel turn was fine. And then he does it at Mania. And then you could have easily switched that up. You did the shock heel turn. You had it to where you finally did this shock thing that made Elimination Chamber crazy. And you could have had something really good going. You had the big match. If they would have put on anything like 10% of what they did at SummerSlam, then it would have been great. But what they should have done is you have Cena winning at Mania. The Rock comes out, which he screwed over that whole storyline anyway.
Yeah.
But you bring The Rock out, and then The Rock comes out to celebrate with Cena, and then he FUs The Rock. And he's back to being Super Cena. He did that just to get the title. He don't need The Rock. Gets rid of The Rock. He's back. He's like, I'm the champ now. And then then you just say, okay, who are we feeding Cena? Boom. This is a huge match. Boom, this is a huge match. Boom, this is a huge match. It was just so overproduced. It was so overbooked. Everything was so... It just didn't need to happen like that. And then you still can do the Cody thing at SummerSlam and switch it back. And then just give Cena people that he either can put over or have a great match with and still win the match. Like, you didn't need to just make it such a slog. I just don't understand the thought process there. Mm. Like, and you're giving him his last PLE and he loses?
Well, he's not winning at main event either, Saturday's main event.
If it's Jey Uso, he better.
It's not going to be Jey Uso. It's going to be Gunther.
Mr. Re-Eater?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
God.
It's going to be Gunther.
I just don't get it. It's not going to be Gunther. Would you stop saying that?
You don't think out of these four people that Gunther's not winning this tournament?
And do you think that they always go with the most obvious choice?
When it's Gunther,
You're not telling me they're not going to try to sell me on, well, Jay's the one that eliminated from the Rumble at the beginning of the year.
Honestly, I don't think they're thinking about that.
Oh, stop. Then you haven't been watching WWE for the last couple of years.
I think Gunther wins.
They probably thought about that at the Rumble.
Gunther wins the tournament, eliminates Cena, becomes this dominant guy who just ended Cena's career.
No. See, you're trying to use logic in an illogical world.
Well, what are you going to do when it happens? And I'm right.
That's never happened to me before, so I don't know.
Well, just you wait.
I've never seen you say anything right. So.
All right, on to the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match. Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. It was a fine match.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It was nice that they didn't put Nikki over so quick on her, so that was good. I was worried about that, but
Yeah,
Let
and
her beat some legends and
I have
see if she can
seen
build herself up.
people start to sour on not on Stephanie, but they've soured on the way
Well,
that
she hasn't
she's.
got booked well.
Yeah, I was about to say the way that she's been booked because they feel like they've turned this amazing, unbelievable wrestling talent into the devil's kiss just because she's got a big butt.
Yeah.
That's
This is what they do, man.
that's what
This is
people think
what
that they've
they
turned her into.
do.
She's been
They
boiled
do
down to
this.
one move.
They do this every time. I don't know why we ever think it's going to be any different with anybody else. They build a person up. They get them crazy. The crowd loves them. The fans want them. They want them pushed. And as soon as they get a push to a title, killed, murdered. Title that once that in that title reign, it's crap. Nothing good ever happens. They don't build anybody. Once they almost say, we've built this person up to a title. Now we gave them the title, and we're done. We don't need to do anything because they have the title now. And it's like, you got to keep building this person up. She's a world champion. And you're sticking her with Nikki Bella as her first real feud. I just don't get it. I don't understand. They kill these characters so fast. They just kill them off. It's like once you reach a certain level, they're just like, oh, no, sorry.
It is pretty
That's
strange.
it's why all their main eventers are over 35 years old. I don't get it. You got all this talent. You got this giant roster. I just looked at the whole roster today, so I know who's on it. And you're not using anybody. You stick the same 6 people in my face all the time and expect me to like it. It's annoying.
Well, they have the other people, like they have LA Knight and they have guys.
He's no spring chicken.
No, he's like 40, I think, or maybe late 30s. But they have these guys that are uber popular, and then they don't like you were just talking about not booking them well when they have the title. LA Knight's U.S. title run was not really anything to be talking about. So
what happened to giving people a chance? They give nobody a chance.
they gave Jey Uso a chance at Rumble.
They gave Jay a chance, and then it's almost like it scared him away.
Well,
But do you know how many times they could have given somebody a chance, and then you don't even have to do anything with it. But give these people a chance. You bury them if you don't think it works out. And the only reason Jay's not buried is because Roman is keeping him alive.
Well, and he's got the yeet. The yeet stuff keeps him alive in the live audiences.
Where's Randy Orton at?
I have no idea. He hasn't been on TV for a couple weeks.
Like, what's that about? And he's not young either. I'm just saying. Where's this talent at? This roster is like 6 people. I don't understand. I was just watching a SmackDown from 1999 today. Okay? And in the first 15 minutes of the show, there was like 12 different guys that did something already. I watch a SmackDown now, and it's maybe 12 different guys the whole show. Cody gets like 3 segments half the time.
He does get a lot of segments.
You get giant groups like the MFTs and the White Six doing stuff that do nothing. They just stand there, beat up a guy, and it leads to nothing. I don't get it. Let's build some people up. But I mean, like, Solo's a perfect example. As soon as he lost the Ula
Ulafala.
yeah, whatever.
People might not know what you're talking about.
As soon as he lost that, they killed him as fast as they could. And they killed the MFTs.
Yeah, I feel bad for the MFTs.
I-
Because, speaking of MFTs, I need to talk about this. So, during the traditional Survivor Series match on SmackDown, Tala Tonga eliminates both of the guns in like a couple of minutes. And
freaking guns, talk about wasting talent.
And basically the whole response online on Twitter was, I can't believe this happened. How have the guns fallen this far? how do you have Tala Tonga beat them? And I don't like the way that the MFTs have been received online. I don't like it's not their fault, it's the booking's fault. The booking has done them dirty because they're not credible anymore.
It don't matter though, man. They're not going to attack the booking.
I know, but I don't like it.
MFTs,
it's a lose-lose situation. The
MFTs lost credibility.
Yeah.
And once you lose credibility, then the fans turn on you. And you have to do that to yourself. They can be mad at booking. No one ever turned on Ziggler.
True.
They just hated his booking.
Yeah.
You know? But MFTs, they did it to themselves. They botched stuff all the time. They were having a lot of problems, and then they're getting booked bad. That's the problem.
But Tala Tonga.
So then the fans are turning on.
But Tala Tonga is a 7-foot monster who has all the credibility, or should have all the credibility in the world, to defeat both the Guns. They're X Division guys. He should be able to beat both of them.
Stop it. Don't disrespect the Guns, first off. Guns are former TNA World Champions.
I'm not trying to disrespect them, but I'm saying they're these X Division guys that a 7-footer should be able to easily beat one at a time, like he did. But it's not received that way because of the way that they've been booked.
No, it's not received that way because they have zero credibility. Their credibility is gone. They've messed up too much. Now the booking's horrible too, but once you lose your credibility. And to be fair to Tala, he hasn't been built up at all to do anything.
Yeah, he's just kind of like security right now.
But he got put into a group that had no credibility. So in turn, he gets no credibility. That's just the way that's going to work on the fans. Mm-hmm. They turn on you once you keep screwing up like that. That's why they turned on Jay.
Oh, we'll get to that.
He started getting fat and couldn't jump over the top rope anymore.
We'll get to that in a second when we talk about the Miz.
He got complacent, and then he lost his credibility. Right around the time they tried to push him. Made no sense.
But just to recap, so Stephanie wins the match over Nikki Bella, because I realized we never really said who won. Stephanie Vaquer retains the title over Nikki Bella.
It wasn't much.
No, it was an okay match. She ends up hitting the Devil's Kiss on the announce table later in the match, and because you have to get that in. And she wins it, and it was fine. It was whatever. I didn't expect much. I mean, Nikki did fine.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. No, it wasn't great.
It was good.
It just is what it is.
And then we get to the men's War Game match, and I want to talk about this because it's been annoying me. So all throughout the night, Cole and Wade Barrett have been saying that there's this new stipulation in the War Games match. If you exit the cage at any time, you forfeit. But at any time, they didn't say, they said specifically, once the match begins. The match doesn't begin until all the people are in the ring. So when Brock gets out of the ring to stop Roman had never entered. The match never started. So people complaining about they add this new stipulation, they don't even they break it the first time they add it. They didn't break it because the match had never started yet. So they couldn't have forfeited it anyway.
And I'm going to tell you the exact problem with that. Communication. Because this is the problem with WWE sometimes, is that they assume that if you're watching, that you're paying attention. And that's two different things. I could watch that pay-per-view, hear Cole say that, but not really give it much thought. And then when I see him come out of the cage, in my head I think, well, why would they even talk about that if he's going to do that later in the night anyway? That makes no sense. Which, to be fair, would have been my thought anyway. Why bring that up at all if you were going to have a point where they're going to be out of the cage anyway?
Now, I have heard that...
just doesn't... That's stupid.
I've heard some rumors, I don't know how true they are, that Brock went off script and just went out of the cage on his own. He wasn't supposed to.
It doesn't matter. Why make a rule like that? It's like booking yourself into a box. It's like, I'm going to stand outside this box. Oh, but I'm going to add this rule that says if I leave the box, then I quit the match. It makes no sense. Like, just don't ever say it. Sometimes they say things that put them in a position where they look stupid, and that's one of those things.
Yeah.
Now, if you know about war games, and you pay attention, you know that the match doesn't start until all the competitors are in there. That's what you can't pin a guy one-on-one in War Games. If it was CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Punk hits a GTS in 2 seconds, he can't win the match yet. You have to get everybody
all
in the
10
match
people
before you can win the match. That's something they need to address clear in their stuff. But because I watch War Games and I watch all these matches, I know that as a fan because I pay attention. But most of these people who watch this stuff don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. And then they don't understand why people get confused. Yeah. It's like because you first off made a rule that you didn't even need.
Yeah, it's a very unnecessary rule.
It's like it doesn't even matter because it was never going to happen.
No, they brought it up in the women's because Becky was trying to leave the cage, but she didn't get it. She didn't end up getting out, obviously.
That's fine. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. There was no reason.
I know you didn't have to have it. They never had it before. Why do they add it now?
Why wouldn't you just say, "Oh, Becky, that's stupid. You can't leave the cage." You don't have to actually be specific. Like you don't have to say, "Oh, you're going to forfeit if you leave the cage." You don't have to say those things. It boggles my mind sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's like why do things to make yourself look stupid later? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. So,
but they did it. It happened, and then the people who complain about it are the ones that didn't actually pay attention. So that's on those idiots too. You got to know what's going on if you're going to comment about something. But that's the world we live in.
Mm. So we talked about it. The heels had the advantage thanks to Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre on I think it was on Raw. They won the advantage. So they start out with Punk comes out first for the faces, and it was Braun Breaker who started for the heels. And Braun looked pretty good in the match. I liked how they built Braun up, and he looked pretty strong throughout the entire thing. And we'll get to his crazy bump that he took in the match.
Yeah.
But then the heels had the advantage, so McIntyre comes out next, and it's 2-on-1. And then I thought Jey Uso was going to come out next, but it ended up being Cody. They ended up bringing Cody out next. So both world champions.
I was a little surprised.
Yeah, I thought they'd save Cody till towards the end. I knew Roman would be last, but I thought Cody would be next to last.
Yeah.
So then it's 2-on-2, and then you get Logan Paul, right? He comes out next for the heels.
Yeah, I think so.
So then it's 3-on-2. You get all that stuff going on, and I think it was during the 3-on-2, maybe it was during the 2-on-2. You get Braun Breaker on the shoulders of who? No, actually, it might have been later in the match because I think Jey Uso was the one who was on the shoulders because I think it's the Usos who do it. So okay, so later on,
yeah, I think
we'll get there. So then Logan Paul comes out and we get the 3-on-2, and then they bring out Jimmy for the faces. Jimmy comes out for the faces, and then it's 3-on-3, and we get Bronson Reed for the heels. And Bronson Reed looks pretty dominant in the match. I like the way that he came in and did like 3 tsunamis, which was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So it's 4-on-3 heels, and then Jay comes out, and then he comes in and saves Jimmy, and they do like super kick party and all that kind of stuff. And then during a spot, they do like a whatchamacallit, what's the finisher, tag team finisher that they did. Why am I blanking on the name of it?
What it's called.
The Road Warriors do it.
Doomsday Device?
Yes, Doomsday Device, yes. They do that on Braun Breaker. And when Braun lands, he lands on his neck and head. And if this was anybody else, that could have paralyzed you. But because Braun Breaker is some genetic freak, like his uncle, he survived it and was fine, completely fine. I don't know how he did that, but I really was like, oh, it took me back when I was sitting on the couch. I was like, whoa, is Braun going to be okay? Is he like done? But he was fine. So that was one of like probably the most nasty bump that I saw. And
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, and then we get what was I on? So Bronson Reed comes out, and then Jay comes out, and then they do that bump with then Braun Breaker, and then we get Brock Lesnar coming out. But Jay, during that, before Brock comes out, Jay's running it back with his entrance, and man, oh man, was the internet upset about that.
Grow up.
Ooh,
cares?
oh my! Okay, let's talk about how much the internet hates Jey Uso.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The IWC has turned him into he is enemy of the state. He is like a war criminal. They hate him.
I just don't get it. I mean, I'm not like the huge Jey Uso fan, but I don't get why they put so much hate on that guy.
He's probably the number one most hated wrestler in WWE right now for IWC. They hate him. So he gets up on the top.
I mean, whatever. He re-eaten. Who cares?
They do, apparently.
It was funny.
So Jay gets on top. He climbs up to the top of the cage. He's there. He's eating whatever. He's banging his head around. He's having a good time. Punk's playing guitar on the chair. Everybody's having a good time because all the heels are down at this point. So it's kind of little.
I just love that the IWC gets to pick and choose when we're allowed to have fun and when we're not.
Well, to them, you can't have fun. Wrestling's not about fun.
It's like. Where were you in 2000 when Too Cool and Rikishi do the dance in the Rumble?
If Twitter was around back then, they probably would have hated it.
Like, grow up. It's wrestling. It's not even supposed to be serious most of the time. Who cares?
How people call the NFL the No Fun League? Well, the IWC is no fun league for wrestling. WWE can't have fun. If you have fun, you can't be a wrestling fan. You can't have fun in wrestling.
Let him have some fun because I think it's so boring right now. It's never fun anyway.
Yeah, but they absolutely hated that. So Jay's on the top. He's having a good time. Everybody's yeeting in the crowd, and then the stinger hits. Then Brock's music hits, and the mood changes.
Good entrance.
The mood changes because whenever that first initial riff plays, sends chills down your spine.
I'll tell you, there are a few entrances when you hear it that you just feel different.
Yeah, the dong.
You get the Undertaker dong. You get the glass. Well,
that
you
too.
get that too. That'll change your feeling in the room.
Just ask
real
Michelle.
Quick. Yeah, goodness. You get the glass shattering. A Stone Cold. You get a If You Smell.
The little like tambourine thing Cena plays.
You get Cena. I don't know if Cena does it as much as those guys. And then who was the one I was thinking about earlier when that happened? I'm blanking on the guy I was thinking about earlier. I said Stone Cold, Undertaker, Brock. It's in the Ruthless Aggression. Why am I blanking on the guy's name? Well, it was Benoit, but we all know you can't do that.
That sends chills down your spine for different reasons.
Oh. The Rock. Yeah, I mean, Triple H kind of had that music.
Only King of Kings, really.
Yeah. Who was it I was thinking about earlier? Because I was thinking about that earlier. Batista kind of had that a little bit.
Yeah, the da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's good. I like that.
I do like Kane's. Kane's is always kind of scary, especially when it's in Psycho.
It starts with a fire, the fire explosion.
But you got to have that character behind it.
Yeah.
Like the character just has to, and Brock's that kind of character.
So
Roman's kind of graduating into that character too.
Yeah. So Brock comes down to the ring and he starts destroying people. And I've noticed this recently with Brock ever since he's had these last couple runs, the last couple years. His suplexes seem so unsafe. Like,
oh yeah, he don't care.
He's just tossing people.
He's strong.
He doesn't even like the other wrestler that he's hitting. They don't even have a chance to sandbag because he physically just picks them up himself and tosses. Like they don't even help him do it.
He's just suplexing animals on his farm. So these guys are nothing.
I know, but the one specifically was that first one that Punk took, or maybe the second one that Punk. He just lands on his head, and it just I don't know. I know how Punk
Brock's
complains
always
a lot.
Been bad about that though. He's nice now. Remember.
So Brock
he
comes out.
Doesn't ever get upset about anything.
And he's dominating the match as he usually does. And then we get the Roman music. And the tribal chief comes down. Notably, did not have the Ulafala on. He came down without the Ulafala.
He was going straight to battle.
Yeah. But Brock gets out of the ring, like we talked about. and they meet in the aisleway, and they have their battle, and then they.
I'll tell you, man. That was the one point in that match where you get a little goosebumpy. You get that because Roman's dead. His character he's not main eventer anymore. He's on a Brock Lesnar level, part timer, big time coming out.
When he's there, it means more.
The Rock level, maybe not all the way up to The Rock, but like
close.
He's up there where he's over main event. He's like I don't even need the title anymore kind of guy.
Yeah.
And when he came out and stood there, and Brock stood on the other side, and you just think about all their history they had together, and it's just like watching King Kong and Godzilla stand against each other.
It was pretty awesome.
Like getting ready to go at it.
So then
because those two guys are going to beat the snot.
Yeah. So
that's what I like. That's what I like about.
They have their fight, and they go all around the ring, and Roman's Superman punching him all the time. And Roman goes for one more close to the announce table. Brock catches him in the air, hits him with the F5 through the announce table, which those announce tables I don't really like because they're pretty rough to take bumps on, it looks like.
Yeah.
The way that they're
fancy.
built. So Roman's out for a little bit.
I will say one thing. One thing that always bothers me about Roman, you don't have to cock your arm
He did do that every single time.
Come on,
that was
man.
A little.
Just hit the punch.
You gotta.
We know it's going to be the Superman punch. You're going to do the Superman punch. Just do it.
He did it.
You don't have to cock it every time.
So Brock's
It's just like it's so cartoony for the rest of his character.
It is kind of yeah.
His character is so serious, and then he does that. Like I get doing it like in the match as like a setup.
Get the crowd involved.
Orton does the
punch the
Viper thing.
Yeah. He goes
like
that place.
that's okay. You don't. But once you start, you can do it the first time. Don't keep doing it every single time you're gonna punch him. It's like, oh, I gotta re-cock here. I'm gonna say cock.
Whip around cock.
Whip around cock, blow it in the face. Yep.
So Brock's beating up Roman. He's bashing him around the cage. They're fighting. They do a whole 360 around the cage. Then they finally get in the ring, and the match officially begins. So now, if somebody leaves, it would be forfeit. Which is how the rules should have stated, but obviously the IWC didn't understand that. So the match is going. Logan Paul at one point gets the brass knucks from Paul Heyman, and he cocks his hand back and does it mockingly Roman. But Roman spears him, takes the brass knucks, and he goes on a Superman punch party with the brass knucks on, which is pretty nasty. I
do like how he put the brass knucks on and he acted like he transformed into.
Yeah, he wiggled his fingers really cool.
He was like, "Oh my god, I got power!"
And he hits Bronson pretty good. He got him like on the jaw. It was pretty good. And
you got to use those brass.
We go through the rest of the match now. It didn't last too much longer once everybody started, or once everybody got in the ring. They do get a nasty table spot where Lesnar picks up Jay in the F5, and then Roman spears Brock through the table, and Jay kind of just gets squished underneath.
Well, did you see Jay take the suplex into the table?
Yeah, and it just breaks the bottom of it. I hate when that happens.
Oops.
Ugh.
Not far enough.
That happened. I think that happened last year in War Games. Just the very end of the table gets broken. Ugh, hate that.
It's almost like they don't really pay attention.
So the table gets broken because obviously they set it up so we knew that somebody was going to get through it, and then we get to the end of the match where somebody in a hoodie climbs the cage, gets in, but does a super kick on CM Punk and a curb stomp.
Made my night.
And obviously, you're going to put two and two together. You're going to think that Seth Rollins is back. But
so, which conspiracy theory are you falling down?
We'll get to that in a second. So, the masked figure hits the curb stomp and then gets back out of the cage. And obviously, everybody's confused. Braun Breaker picks up Punk and does the running the ropes spear. And then 1, 2, 3, heels win, which is what we predicted. We went 4 for 4. Which I think this is a very obvious card to pick, so it's not that surprising to go 4 for 4.
Pretty much everything happened with.
Yeah. So we get that ending, and we never see the heel or the masked figure after he leaves the cage. The fireworks go off. The heels hang there or raise their hands, and then we get the camera in the ring following Cody, Punk, and Roman. I thought it was a little weird that Roman picked up Punk and like fist bumped him because he literally
some respect for Punk.
he literally just said on Raw that he hates him. And
you can hate a guy, but have respect.
I know, I understand. It was just a little weird. And then he
we're doing this show, aren't we?
And then he goes, Cody like goes up to him. He's like all butthurt or something, and Roman starts to leave. They gives him like a smug look, and he starts to leave. And he says, "We're never teaming again." And this is the last time we're teaming. And then you kind of think that I've heard rumors that the plan for WrestleMania is Cody versus Roman again. So who knows what's going to happen there, if that's actually true or not. But let's get to, and then the card ends, or the show ends. So let's get to theories on who the masked figure is. Do we actually, let's get the obvious one out of the way. Do we actually believe it's Seth Rollins?
No.
I don't either.
That's too obvious.
Yeah. And if
it would have been Seth Rollins, he would have took the mask.
He would have. He absolutely would have.
You think Seth Rollins, that prima donna, is not going to take credit?
He's going to take credit. He's going to gloat. He's going to...
Give me a break.
And it wouldn't make sense. Why would Seth Rollins help Braun Breaker? He just got kicked out.
Yeah, he hates Punk. Like I said before, you're making a little bit too big a deal about the breakup of the Vision. I don't think Seth cares about that in his character wise. I think the only reason they did that was because he was hurt.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be the focus when he comes back. I think the focus is Punk's the world champion. So it makes sense to me if I wanted to think that was Seth Rollins, I'd believe that, because I would think he would definitely attack CM Punk over Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm. So now
and then go after Breaker later.
So
I'm not saying you will forget about it.
Now that we've gotten rid of Seth Rollins as a possible candidate because we don't think and the build of the person did not look like Seth Rollins' build. He looked.
I will say though, my favorite meme that came out of that was the one where it showed that guy from like SmackDown versus Raw 08, the Masked Man.
Oh yeah.
And people were saying, "Can't wait to play as the Masked Man." 2K26 or whatever it was. I remember that guy.
I've seen a couple of different possible candidates. I've seen one that I don't think is going to happen, and then one that I do think is what it's going to be. I've seen one, Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Matthews?
Yeah.
What?
Because he hasn't done anything on AEW TV. Nobody knows really what his situation is.
He's hurt.
There. And the build, the way the person looked, like his shoulders and everything, looked like what Buddy looks like. He's got big shoulders and wide body.
He looked like the guy from the Scott's commercials?
What? The guy?
You never seen the guy from the Scott's commercials? That's what I think Buddy Matthews looks like.
Well, and he's married to Rhea, so it makes sense for him to eventually come back at some point.
No, he's doing his thing over there.
So we've got that whole situation.
Not Buddy Matthews.
No, and then the person that I do think it is...
No, I already know who you're going to say it's not him.
Austin Theory.
Yep, it's not him.
Okay, so who do you think it is?
Nope. I already know who it is. I know who it's going to be.
All right, put it on tape.
I told you this was the exact match that was going to happen at Mania, and they're building to it already. And I told you this was going to happen. You didn't believe me. Chris Jericho. I said it.
I've heard that Chris Jericho was an option. But let me throw this back at you.
Don't throw nothing at me. I don't like to catch this.
Same reason why we don't think Seth Rollins is the person. Would Chris Jericho not take credit for that? Would he not take the mask off? Chris Jericho's character is all about ego.
Okay, but here's my throwback to you. Who, more than anybody, likes to tell everyone that they're the smartest person in the room?
Chris Jericho.
And Triple H. So, well, of course. But, so why wouldn't Chris Jericho want to come back? And if he's going after Punk, what is going to get in Punk's mind the most? A masked guy who does the super kick and the stomp to him.
So he's going to plant the seeds that Seth Rollins.
And then when he just think it's going to be Seth Rollins, code breaker. Boom. And we have
I just don't think that whoever was underneath the mask, whether it's the person that was there at Survivor Series that night, is actually going to end up being the person, because they can do that all the time. They can switch a body double or whatever. But
I'm just saying,
does it make sense that a 50-year-old Chris Jericho climbed that cage and
Yes.
and curb stomped Punk, and then got back
Yes.
out of there and didn't take credit for it.
It's not like Jericho has been wrestling. He's still wrestling. It's not like it's not believable.
I don't know. It didn't really seem like that's something Jericho would do.
Well, you're overthinking Jericho's characters.
All of Chris Jericho's characters are all about ego. Every character he's ever had.
What are you talking? But he's always the smartest guy. He literally attacked William Regal dressed as Doink the Clown. Did he not?
He attacked Rey
Mysterio
with
a mask on. That's Jericho's MO, is dressing up as people. He does it all the time.
So you think it's Jericho? I think it's Austin Theory. We're recording this before Monday Night Raw, so if they end up
Austin Theory,
like revealing who it was on Raw, then we won't. We obviously don't know what it is right now.
I'm just gonna say it right now. What an effing letdown that would be.
Well, not only
Austin Theory.
Not only were there rumors that Austin Theory was at the show on Saturday,
I'm
backstage.
sure he was at the show.
There was also rumors when the Vision first started that Austin Theory was going to join it whenever he came back from his injury. So
that's fine. He can join the Vision. You're telling me him being the masked man would be what you want to see happen?
I do, because I think them bringing
What's
Chris
that going to lead
Jericho,
to?
them bringing Chris Jericho back would be a different. They could use it in a different way, and it also would be good.
So here's my other way to say this. Just because he was the masked man doesn't mean he can't return as Chris Jericho. Don't you remember the whole storyline of Triple H and taking out Stone Cold?
I did it for The Rock.
Triple H taking out Shawn and pretending they were friends the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
That's Triple H's MO. You're telling me you can't have Jericho make a surprise appearance in the Rumble, and we still haven't found out who the mask guy is, and then is in the Rumble, wins the Rumble, you think he's coming back as this big baby face, and then you find out that he was really the one that was in the mask the whole time? Because somebody's got backstage footage. I remember when they used to do security camera crap?
Jeez, that's good. I like that, yeah.
And it's him walking in the back, and he just takes the mask off, and it's Jericho, and he's standing behind Punk, and Punk sees it, turns around, and go break.
See,
and he thought he was his friend.
See, you're merging Vince booking and Triple H booking. You were just talking about earlier Triple H booking.
No, that's a Triple H booking idea.
But
if I'm telling you this right now, if Triple H did it in his career, he had some idea of what he was doing. He didn't just say, "Hey Vince, what do you want me to do tonight?" I guarantee you most of those were in some way his idea. So how many times have I told you this has happened? Triple H books the company like he booked himself. He does it all the time. He books factions. What was Triple H mostly always in? A faction. He books what do we call the Reign of Terror? Who keeps booking long butt title reigns? Like this, he books the WWE like his whole career was booked. Triple H loves the shock surprise. Where do you think he got that from? DX. It's Triple H MO. Everything he does, every strategy he has, he's like, well, this works for me. Here we go. Oh, a group with one main eventer and a couple of younger guys he can build up? Wonder where I've seen that before. That's how he thinks. Because most of his career was in some form or another his ideas. I mean, watch the entire episode of Evolution on Ruthless Aggression. All of that was his idea. That whole thing of Evolution was his idea.
Good thing they didn't get Mark Jindrak.
Almost did, but he hated him because he kept playing animal noises in the backseat. I would have thrown him out on the side of the road if I was Triple H. What sounds a chicken make?
We'll have to do a whole podcast on the era of Vince wanting everybody to wear the dress shirts and everybody was so sweaty. It's hilarious.
Kurt Angle wooing Flair, the
Yeah,
sweat
we'll have to do a whole episode on
pouring
that
off
because
of him.
that always makes me laugh when I see highlights of that.
Disgusting.
But I think it was Austin Theory because I think he's going to join the Vision, and you think it was Chris Jericho. So we'll find out whether we find out on Raw or if we find out later down the line. Maybe they hold off on the reveal for a while. Who knows? Even if it is Austin Theory, maybe they hold off on the reveal for a while. Who knows?
Break it down.
But that was Survivor Series War Games 2025. If you had to give it a rating,
said,
what would you give it?
Oh, it's 3.
Just a 3? Okay. I was gonna say
3
maybe
out
like
of 5.
I was gonna maybe say like a 5 or a 6.
I'm doing it out of 5.
Oh, out of 5. Okay, then a 3.
Half. I'm doing. It was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything horrible. It's not like any of the matches sucked. But when you only got 4 matches, it's hard for one of them to really suck.
What I would say about it was, and this is the best way I could say it, if it wasn't John Cena's last pay-per-view match, it's a missable pay-per-view. You didn't have to watch it. Nothing happened there. Like I guess the live return, but nothing really happened there that if you missed it, you wouldn't be super sad about. Like, I'm gonna be my FOMO. I missed out. Oh no! Like this was a missable pay-per-view.
No,
If it wasn't Cena's last.
They're trying to push things, and they're just not sticking. War Games is a dying concept.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna go back to traditional Survivor Series next year.
It's getting killed off by blood and guts. It worked good in NXT.
This last most recent Blood and Guts was fantastic.
But see what happens is they keep doing these concepts down NXT and then bringing them up, and then they're overdoing them in the main roster.
Hey, I'm surprised they haven't done Iron Survivor on the main roster yet.
It's okay, it's too much. Especially when you do 2 in one night. See, that's a problem a lot now, is things are starting to get stale. Because and I love that they're giving the women all these opportunities. But you're oversaturating a lot of things now. Like, sometimes the Rumbles are hard to watch, because now I got to watch 2 Rumbles. These used to be special things. A war, like it was like what happened when they made Heck in a Cell pay-per-view.
Yeah, that got pretty rough.
It took away the mystique of the Heck in a Cell match.
But good for that match. It's starting to come back to that kind of vibe.
Yeah, because now they're putting it in a bad blood, and you're putting in a blood feud in there. That's what's supposed to be in that match, not a random Randy Orton Sheamus match.
Randy Orton.
It's just and then you have to always do 2 of everything because you're trying to include the women, and that's fine. But you're oversaturating things now.
Maybe if they did, maybe if they gave women something else on that show, maybe that would have been.
But more what I'm saying is instead of having a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, why don't you have Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and then a women's Money in the Bank at SummerSlam? Then you're spreading it out, and you're making it special on both shows. Or if you're going to do the Heck in a Cell match, do it just randomly when you have a feud that deserves it. Like Cody and Roman. Whenever they fight again. Mm-hmm. Or Seth and Punk. I mean, they did one, but I'm saying those kind of feuds are the kind of feuds that need to go inside that kind of match. They oversaturate, because then you make it a pay-per-view, and then you say, okay, now we have to do this. We've boxing yourself in a corner for no reason. No one's making you make this a pay-per-view. So now you've done it, and now you get to that point, and you're like, oh, we got to put 2 matches in this cell, and we don't really have a good feud for it. I guess we're just going to put something in there. And then it's not a good match, and then you oversaturated it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they do now, though. Now everything's 2 nights. Everything's this. Everything's bigger and better. It's like, yeah, it's bigger. I wouldn't say it's better.
It's a lot.
But then I feel like they realized they oversaturated like the Rumble, and then they're going to start moving that to 2 nights.
Yeah, I think this upcoming Rumble is in Saudi.
Because they're like, well, it's so hard to do 2 Rumbles in one night. I guess we're going to do 2 nights of it so we can do one each night. I don't know if that really solves your problem, because now I got to spend 2 nights watching this crap instead of just one long night.
You can fall asleep during it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Man. Wake me up when it's the Final Four. That's when it matters.
All right, so that has been our Survivor Series War Games 2025 recap. Like I said,
rant.
Yeah, and rant. Yeah, it was a fine show. It wasn't anything spectacular.
Sucked.
Wasn't anything like horrible. Like I didn't want to rip my eyes out watching or anything like that. So
I already did.
So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like here on Spotify. Leave a comment if you have any of your opinions, your thoughts on maybe who the mystery person is, mystery attacker on Punk, or what you thought of the overall the overall card in itself. And that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.